Have you ever wanted something so much that no matter how hard you're trying to fight it, you just couldn't, and then you end up giving up, and then you regret it, right? So today I want to talk to you about my experience yesterday. Yesterday, after dinner, I was washing my dishes, and I was thinking, oh my God, I really want to eat more. Yet, I was not hungry. What I was experiencing was cravings, and I was experiencing sugar craving. However, this technique that I'm gonna show you on how to fight cravings and even addictions doesn't only apply to, let's say, eating. It can be applied to anything. I used this very same technique to kill, to destroy my gaming addiction. So step number one is you have to understand what cravings are and what is the difference. Let's talk about food as an example. So this is exactly what I was experiencing yesterday. In my case, I can tell the difference between cravings and hunger. Ever since I stopped eating sugar, and well, I didn't stop eating sugar, but I lowered my glycemic index of the meals that I consume. For example, with every meal, I consume some kind of meat. Let's say yesterday it was steak, and I usually consume rice. It could be potato, and I almost never have any sweets, right? Even when I drink juice, I usually dilute it by 30%. So let's say a cup of juice, on the label, it would say it has 50 calories, right? And let's say 15 or 20 grams of sugar. But then I only put the 1/3 of the cup as actual juice. So then, in my case, 1 cup would only give me 7 grams of sugar and would only give me what? Let's say 50 divided by 3. Well, I don't know. You do the math. 16 grams. 16 calories, sorry. my math is not the strongest point. Anyway, and so ever since I started doing that, I found out the difference between cravings and hunger. So what happens is when, let's say, I don't consume sugar, so I don't have cravings, but I can still get hungry. When I get hungry, I feel it in my head. So my functioning slows down. It's more difficult to, let's say, think about things. And that's how I know that I'm hungry. So I don't experience this, oh my God, I need to eat. I don't have it anymore. But yesterday I had it. And the funny thing is what I was experiencing after dinner. So it's like, what? I just ate, right? And then I feel hungry. I feel I want to eat more. In those cases, I realize that this is not real hunger anymore. This is just a craving. In my case, yesterday, why I felt cravings is because the day before that, I consumed quite a lot of sugar. And the reason I did that is because I went riding my bike. It's a really physically challenging activity. I went off-roading. You move your body, you lift the bike. If it falls down, you move the bike and it's like twice my weight, at least twice. It's really physically challenging. To do that, to be able to feed my muscles, I had to consume a lot of carbohydrates. That in turn caused me to want more carbs. And this is very usual for people who first, let's say, try dieting. They, let's say, have this SADs, Standard American Diet, which is full of hard carbs, and then they stop immediately. And then they're like, oh my God, I'm so hungry. And of course they are miserable, and then they give up, okay? So to stop that, in my case, I learned one great technique, which is called surfing the wave. Okay? And this technique can be used to fight addictions and cravings and any kind of desire. Okay, so let me quickly tell you about this technique. Number one, you need to understand that every craving, every desire comes in waves. What does it mean? It means that it starts very, very kind of soft, right? Then it grows stronger and stronger and stronger. And then, depending on your reaction to that, you either give in and then it kind of ended, right? Or you don't give in and you just endure it. And if you do that, you will see that actually the craving will pass. Let's say with hunger. When I first started 2 meals a day, so basically intermittent fasting, I realized that I was really, really hungry for just 1 hour. So let's say I don't eat breakfast, and then I'm so hungry, I'm like, oh my God, I will faint, I will die, my body needs food. And then 1 hour later, it's gone. I don't feel anything. I don't feel hungry. I don't feel deprived. I feel good. Because of that, I learned that in my case, it lasts about 1 hour. In your case, it might be longer, it might be shorter, but usually it's a wave. So it grows and then it subsides. So if you don't give in, this is what lie we tell ourselves. Or maybe it's not a lie, we just don't understand it. That if we don't give in, it will get easier. It will be gone anyway, right? So why give in? Because we think, naturally, I think, we believe that, okay, it was a very little desire. Now it's a horribly strong desire. It will keep growing, right? But actually, no, it doesn't keep growing. It just disappears. If we don't give in, we just ride the wave. Then the next step is observation without judgment. Well, I think you can understand what it means. You just basically pay attention to how you feel. And I told you before about pause and plan, right? So you pause, take a break from whatever you're doing, pay attention to what's happening in your mind, pay attention to this desire, right? To this craving of sugar, to this desire to play a video game. Like in my case, I had a video game addiction. And then you're like, okay, I have this desire. This is a fact. Don't try to stop it. Just observe it. Experience it. Next is you have to ride the wave. As I already explained, you just imagine that this is a wave and you are not going to accept it and let it hit you, or you just ride it. Imagine that you are surfing this wave of maybe slightly painful emotion, and then just imagine that you are conquering this. You are not in the water. You are not one with this desire. You are separate from it, right? And so then, if you need it, of course, you can use some coping strategies like distract yourself maybe. If, let's say, it's a hunger, well, then you can do something else that takes your mind off this experience. And in my case, I usually distract myself with something. And so if this is, let's say, hunger, then I can play a game or I can watch a video. So those things are not good in themselves, right? If it's done too much, right? So watching videos too much, not a good thing. Playing games too much, not a good thing. But if you use it with a purpose, and if you measure how much you use it, right, then it's gonna work. And as I mentioned, you will see that, let's say, with hunger cravings, in my case, it's 1 hour, and then it's done. So you can watch some episode of Reacher or whatever, I don't know what you like, and then it's gonna be gone. When you finished watching, you're like, wait a second, I'm not hungry anymore. But just by realizing that there is this wave, you already decrease this craving. And then, but here's the thing, it's a very, very interesting experience that you can give in. So you don't have to refuse doing that. And in the beginning, this is how you start. If you have really strong urge to do something, right? If you I don't know, maybe masturbation, maybe you watching porn, I don't know what you do. So any kind of craving, any kind of addiction can be, you can still give in, right? Because one time will probably not change anything, right? It's not like, this is one time technique that will defeat any addiction. No, it's not like that. You have to train yourself to experience it, right? And the first time will be difficult. You see, so in my case, yesterday, I know this technique. I've practiced it for many years, maybe 7 or more years. Because of that, I know how to deal with it. I don't need to give in anymore. So yesterday, I didn't take anything. I didn't eat anything anymore. I'm just, okay, I have craving. So what? This is my attitude now. But in your case, and in my case, when I started, you can give in. You're like, okay, I really want to play a game. Oh my God, I have to play a game. I can't stop thinking about playing a game. And then you're like, okay, let's give ourselves 10 minutes. Can you wait for 10 minutes? Probably yes. And then after 10 minutes, you decide. You decide whether you want to do it or you don't want to do it. If you want to do it, no problem. Do it anyway. So you don't have to forbid yourself. You experience it, as I told you. You ride the wave. And then by the end of this experience, if you still want to give in, please do that. It's okay. But as you keep doing this day after day, you will find that you can actually stay longer and longer without giving in. And as you get better and better at surfing this wave, you will see that at some point you will be like, you know what? I think I'm strong enough not to give in. And then you will do it once. And then maybe next time you will give in again. But just keep doing that. And eventually you will be strong enough to be just, you know what? It's fine. I don't need it anymore. One of the things that you have to do at the end of it is what's called reflection. This is very similar to what, let's say, militaries do when they go on a mission, right? They have a plan. Then they go execute the mission, and then whoever survived comes back, and then they think about, okay, what went well? What went wrong? How can we improve? And so if you use the same technique, in my case, that was really, really helpful. So, for example, if I want to play a game, so before I start, I give a timeout to myself, 10 minutes. I'm like, okay, I really want, but 10 minutes I can wait. Okay. Then I give in, and then I play a game. And in my case, it was really an addiction. I couldn't stop playing. And I would play for, let's say, 3 hours, right? Instead of doing anything useful, instead of working, instead of studying, instead of cleaning my room, anything. And so I play for 3 hours, and then I'm like, oh my God, I have to run to work. And I remember once I even could have enough time to take shower and eat. So like in the morning I started playing, and then I'm like, I stopped playing when it's already 10 minutes before I have to leave, and I hadn't taken shower, I hadn't had my lunch. I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible. Anyway, so then you take the time to analyze, how did it go? Did you feel better after you gave in? Do you feel now better or not? And so in my case, usually I would realize that, playing game was really fun, and you should not deny yourself. You have to be honest. I think many people judge themselves. They're like, oh no, you played a game, you're weak, you are terrible, playing games is horrible, it's destroying your life. But why are you doing it then? If you're honest, you will focus on playing, and you will be like, oh my God, this is so much fun. I'm enjoying it so much. And then at the end of it, you will be like, it was a lot of fun, but now I'm screwed. In my case, this honesty, and I'm screwed, I mean, I have no time to do anything. I didn't do anything. Let's say I used to play strategy games where you have to grow your country, right, and into an empire and conquer the world, maybe. I'm like, okay, so in the game, I conquered, let's say, Asia, well, almost all Asia. But what actually happened in the real world? I'm like, nothing. My life is now a little shorter and not in any way better than when I started. That realization gave me this idea that, you know what, it might be fun, but then at the end of it, when I finish, my life is actually worse. And because I did that reflection exercise, then the next time when I have this craving, I can use this memory of this painful realization as a coping mechanism. So I'm like, oh my God, I really want to play. I feel bored, I feel bad, I don't know, I want to distract myself. But then I remember what I thought last time. I'm like, you know what? Okay, I will give myself 10-minute timeout, but in this time, I'm going to think about how I felt last time when I gave in, when I played the game. And in those 10 minutes, that's usually enough time to convince yourself, if you really focus on that memory, how you felt cheated out of your time. Like in my case, I felt cheated out of my time. And so if you find that negative emotion, then you will be like, 10 minutes of that negative emotion is usually... So again, you are not judging yourself, right? You are not like saying, oh, this is bad, you are weak. No, it's not about you. You are just riding the wave. You are the surfer. It's about the wave. The wave makes you feel that. Then, as you experience it, you're like, you know what? I want this wave to be over. I don't want to give in to this wave. I don't want to fall down in the water. I want it to be over. I want to ride over it. I want it to be over, and then I'm gonna be free. In my case, that's how it worked. That's how I could stop my addiction to games. And then, of course, other things help. I don't know, delete the games from your computer. Well, that sounds obvious, right? But, you know, the first step is, of course, trying to do what I told you. Ride the wave, then do reflection at the end, pause and plan. Those three things helped me. And yesterday I had no problem, understanding the difference between craving and hunger. I was not hungry, I was craving sugar. And so then I'm like, well, cravings pass. So what that I'm craving? I can wait, you know? And so then you're like, you feel that you are stronger than this wave of desire. And that's it for me for today. If you want to stay updated, please go to resilientfreedom.com and subscribe to my newsletter. And I will see you next time.